Welcome to the 7th lesson of the Business English module called Entertainment. It is advisable to do the lessons from this module on computers. If you do them on smartphones or other small portable devices, you can just zoom in so as to see all text and exercises properly. In this lesson, we will focus on the key vocabulary regarding entertaining, food, culture, and sightseeing. You'll read a cultural program for a business meeting prepared by one of our young entrepreneurs from the previous lessons and will have the opportunity to write your own. You will also learn how to use passive forms and comparison. In the end, you'll receive some helpful tips for paying the bill and attending cultural events. We hope all these will support our entrepreneurial initiatives. Now, let's start with the email which Anna sent to her friends regarding the cultural program during their meeting. If you remember, in the previous lessons, Anna and her friends from Turkey, Germany, Sweden, Spain, Italy, Cyprus and Greece met in Bulgaria for discussing their business idea. In addition to the official sessions, they had time for some sightseeing around Sofia. Carefully read Anna's letter about that. If necessary, pause the video. Try to remember how Anna explained what can be seen in Sofia and what she proposed to her friends not to miss. You will need this information for the exercises later on. Now, let's see some basic vocabulary related to cultural programs. To do sightseeing means to visit places of interest. A guided tour is a tour accompanied by a guide or guidebook. To take about 1 hour means to last for around 1 hour. Examples of interesting places for visits are national history museums, archaeological museums, city museums, art galleries, amusement parks, zoos, etc. Now, it is time to exercise. Read carefully the words on the slide. For each statement, put the words in the right order. If necessary, pause the video. You can check your success back on slide number 3. So, when do we use passive forms? We use them when it is not so important who or what did the action, or when the agent is not known, is people in general, or is obvious. In an active sentence, we need to include the agent as subject, while using a passive allows us to omit the agent. Usually, passive forms are used in formal written correspondence, especially with public authorities. We form passive sentences by using the correct form of the verb to be, is, are, was, were, has been, etc., and the past participle of the main verb. Now, let's see how to make comparison. We make comparative forms by adding er to short adjectives and adverbs, and more for two-syllable adjectives and longer adjectives. Note that we have to add then to say to what we compare the adjective or adverb. To make superlatives, we add est to short adjectives and adverbs, and most for two-syllable adjectives and longer adjectives. Don't forget that we normally use the with superlatives. Of course, there are some exceptions how to form comparatives and superlatives. For comparison of irregular words and comparison with adjectives, check the grammar books. Now, let's move to the next part, listening. Listen to the conversation between Anna and her friends at the restaurant. Note how Anna presents the menu, courses and dishes. Be careful how she explains some flavors and tastes.
Hello, welcome to a traditional Bulgarian restaurant. Here you could try some traditional food which is very delicious. We could start with some salads or starters and then continue with the main dishes. If you like, you could try some of our desserts. The seafood is very good here. Fish is served with some salad, but if you prefer, you could order meat dishes, chicken, pork or lamb. The steak usually comes with some vegetables. There are also very good vegetarian dishes.
Is the chicken steak spicy?
It's spicy, but not hot.
Are the vegetarian dishes greasy?
No, they are slightly salty or with herbs.
Are the dessert sugary?
No, actually they are sweet but not sickly.
So, listen again to the conversation between Anna and her friends. Complete the following sentences. If necessary, pause the video. You can see the text on the next slide and check your answers.
Hello, welcome to a traditional Bulgarian restaurant. Here you could try some traditional food which is very delicious. We could start with some salads or starters and then continue with the main dishes. If you like, you could try some of our desserts. The seafood is very good here. Fish is served with some salad, but if you prefer, you could order meat dishes, chicken, pork or lamb. The steak usually comes with some vegetables. There are also very good vegetarian dishes.
Is the chicken steak spicy?
It's spicy, but not hot.
Are the vegetarian dishes greasy?
No, they are slightly salty or with herbs.
Are the dessert sugary?
No, actually they are sweet but not sickly.
So, here you can see the conversation at the restaurant. And of course, check your answers from the exercise. Let's see some useful phrases about menus. Try to memorize them as they will be very helpful at restaurants. We use "the food is delicious" to say that it has an excellent taste. Usually, the menu consists of salads or starters, main dishes and desserts. When we say main dishes, we mean the main course. Here we could have meat dishes with chicken, pork, beef or lamb. Vegetarian dishes or seafood or fish. The main dishes can come with or be served with vegetables. Let's see some useful phrases regarding tastes. If the dish is salty, it means that there is a lot of salt in it. If it is spicy, that means that it is hot. If it is greasy, there is too much oil or fat in it. If it is sugary, that means there is lots of sugar. However, if it is sickly, there is too much sugar. The dish can be tasty when it has a good taste or tasteless if it has no taste at all. When we order meat, it can be either overcooked or overdone or undercooked or underdone. Now, we move to the writing part, where you will practice writing a letter proposing a cultural program. In the reading part, you read Anna's letter to her friends. You already learned some useful vocabulary regarding sightseeing. Now, it is your turn. The points on the slide will guide you through the process. When you write your letter, be clear about what you propose the other person or people to visit and why you think it will be interesting to them. Explain well what will be free of charge and what will be paid and how much it will cost. This will help the other person to understand what is worth seeing and how to prepare. We wish you good luck. In the last part of the lesson, we like to share with you some helpful tips on entrepreneurship relevant skills regarding paying the bill. We say we'll split the bill when we want to tell that each person will pay for him or herself. When we say lunch is on me today, we mean that we pay the bill. Note that this expression is informal. To say it in a formal way, we say, will you join us or will you come with us for dinner? We want you to be our guest. If we say, let me get this, we mean that we are paying the bill this time. Note that the expression is informal. I was wined and dined every night by our partners means that I was invited out to restaurants by them. On this slide, we are sharing some helpful distinction between fine arts and performing arts. It can be useful if you like to include attending cultural events in your programs. In fine arts, we include painting and sculpture, which can be seen at art galleries. In performing arts, we include dance, opera, cinema, theater, ballet, and different types of concerts, classical or rock or country. So, we came to the end of this lesson. Now, you know the key vocabulary related to entertainment with a focus on food and culture. You also know how to use passive forms and comparison. You've practiced writing a cultural program for a business meeting. You have also improved your knowledge about eating out at restaurants and attending cultural events. We wish you good luck and are looking forward to seeing you at the next lesson.